So here I am in Panchi, and I really have to just ask myself, like, where the fuck did I go all those years ago? All those years ago, when I went to Panchi, I went to somewhere completely different. I mean, this looks like Diento. I don't know. Hold on, what the fuck's going on? Okay, no, this looks familiar. I kind of remember, this was the river that I remember. Son of a bitch, I really thought Panchi was a smaller, more mountainous place. I mean, this is pretty small, don't get me wrong, but I have a very, very different memory of it. Son of a bitch, I remember this building, and this is the shop I went into. I went into this shop like 6 years ago. Didn't like their teas. All right, here we are. We're in Panchi. I really thought Panchi was a more mountainous town. I did not think it was so accessible, so lower elevation. Well, it just goes to show you that elevation isn't everything. Damn, they still use wood fires. Alright, so it looks like, so I'm guessing people are out to lunch, because it looks like there is at least one door open. Let's go see. 你好，看一下。Hello， 你好。Hello， 你好。哎呀，坐下。All right, so I think I posted those to my stories. Went in, had some tea. Very nice guys. We chatted a bit. We talked a little bit about Panchi. I asked them what made Panchi so much better. Like, oh my God, look at the duck. Too fucking cute. I asked him what made Panchi better, and the first thing he said was soil. He also said that this area is much stricter on the pesticides and all that, which we've heard from other people. So yeah, that being said, what they brought out was a bud only silver needle, needles only, none of the little side leaves, which, as I've mentioned before, even though this one was much better than ones I've had in other places, still not quite what I want.
我们银针它泡出来茶汤颜色就偏更淡一些，但它这个里面全是毫就更多了。
对。All right, I picked up some tea. First of all, so many things to talk about. Okay, important stuff. I learned so we did 2 silver needles. Okay, so much to talk about. So I went in, and the woman was very nice. And the one thing I realized when I went in was that there was a lot of like pu'er. And I sat down and I asked her, and I was like, it's kind of strange to see so much pu'er and so much non-white tea in a white tea area. And she was like, yeah, we used to have a shop outside of Panchi. I forgot to ask where. And then we came back home, and so now there's we have a lot of different types of tea. She did open up one pu'er for me, and that did not look great. It was a little bit white, and there's like a small bug crawling on it because she had wrapped it up very loosely in some bamboo. And I was like, And so we started, she asked me if I like something a little bit lighter, a little bit stronger. And this is actually a very tricky question for me because while I don't want something super strong, I don't want something super light. And I have found that if I say light, I get something too light. So I said strong, and so she brought out a late picked by Mudan. Also, by the way, I did not tell her. I told her that I was like fresh into tea and I didn't know much. Like that's my disguise, so there's not so much pressure to buy, and it's a little more pressure. It's a little more normal for me to walk out if I don't like anything. And so, but by the end of the day, she realized, she was like, okay, you do milk tea. So I was like, yeah, I want something a little bit strong. So she brought out a nice late picked by Mudan. And then we switched to silver needles because I was like, hey, do you have any silver needles? So she brought out a better one. And you can see in the photos, there's a very, very clear difference in the appearance. And especially, yeah, that's how I got. This is where I came from yesterday. And apparently, especially the color. Loud. Especially the color. One of it was very long silver needles. The other one was shorter with a little more green. Shorter, less silvery, less hairy, and a little more green. And the one that was shorter and a little more green, less hairy, that's the earlier pick. The one that is longer and more silver, that's a later pick. And she actually said, and this is a cool little fact, that when she was growing up, they didn't really do early pick silver needles. They only did later picked ones, longer, silver, and more hairy. And this is actually something that I read and heard the same thing about. The same thing is true about Cheeman. When Cheeman first started being made, it was late picks. It was late picks. It was larger picks. And then only, I think, more recently has it switched to younger, smaller picks. And so that was a cool little fact. That's something I didn't know. I asked her why Panchi was better, and she said, the soil, the elevation is more appropriate, which I'm beginning to believe. And I've had a bunch of people tell me that different areas have different makings. But when I asked her, I was like, does Panchi have different making? She was like, well, different houses have different making. There's not really a single making for an area. And I thought that was a very good answer. I missed the bus. I was walking down the street thinking to myself, where do I catch the bus? And the bus went flying from behind me. I didn't even see it to be able to stop it. So I'm right now kind of standing on the side of the road, waiting for the next bus to come. I flagged down another bus, but they were going in the opposite direction. And they told me to get the next bus. So here I am, waiting for the bus. Panchi fit check. I got the farmer's hat. I got some random button-up shirt to keep the sun off me. I got a t-shirt. I got random suit pants and some busted sneakers. Fit check. Alright, here's a bus, and here's the driver coming over here. So we'll see if this is going in the right place.